not for sale.
We not for sale.
What's
We
happening?
not for sale. Hey.
For sale.
We back at you guys with another week, another great week. I am your host, Jay Estrada Fitness, aka Jay Wesley Snipes, aka Jay Cornrow Fitness.
I don't know, that tan kind of fading away, man.
AKA the blonde bomber.
And to my right, we got the one and only.
Oh, that was weak, Raymond.
Hey, I don't care what you think is weak. Welcome back, my brother. Welcome back.
Come on,
back.
give us another one, Raymond. Okay, there we go, baby.
Yeah.
All right,
Man,
much better.
I'm back in full effect. You know, car accident has passed away. I'm feeling 100%.
Yeah, I noticed you weren't limping when you came in.
Yeah. My back, my head, my neck. I'm putting it all together.
Okay.
Shout out to the legal fees that are being covered. But feeling great, man. Feeling great. And to my right, my brother, the abolitionist, the one and only J.A. Person Lynn.
Hey, you know what it is, Jai Person Lynn, a.k.a. the Lincoln Lawyer, a.k.a. not abolitionist is not an AKA, it's just what I am. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that right there and pass it to my brother from another mother and father and city. My nigga, C-Note.
C-Note Collins on the mic, a.k.a. Hollywood. What's going on, y'all, man? It feels good to be here amongst my brothers. To my right, I got the one and only. What nickname you going by these days? Jay West, West Mama?
I've been consistent. If you missed it, I stay consistent. It's West Strata,
Okay.
I ain't going to give you a whole lot of.
The
I'm going to
Aries.
just move on to the right like a freeway exit and pass it to my guy, Too Sick Jamers.
The great.
Welcome back.
Too sick, the great.
Welcome back, brother.
Hey, man, I missed a couple weeks with you guys, man. I'm happy to be back here with you guys and in the flesh of all you lucky guys here.
Now you came in smiling today, didn't you? Do you wanna tell the viewers what the smile was
He
for?
came in with a fat pocket and a fat belly. What's going on?
You guys if you guys
You
don't
got some
know,
new gray hairs?
if you guys don't know, Too Sick
man,
came in with the biggest smile. He was smiling from ear to ear, and he obviously came in with his two Jesus pieces and his Rolex, and then he whipped out a wad of cash on me.
Yeah, he did. He
Talk
flashed
about
on
it.
us.
Talk
Don't
about it,
flash
Too
no
Sick.
cash on me.
He flashed
Big
on
time, big time.
us. He flashed on
What
us,
happened, Too Sick, man? Where was you
Where
at,
were
man?
you, bro?
And I had a good time, man. Out here.
That's evident.
Today is, this is the birthday celebration.
Wow.
I took a lot of donations on Cash App.
Hey.
Hey.
Birthday celebration.
shout out to you. Tomorrow.
October 21st,
Hey,
you know what I'm
there.
saying? All the greats are Libras. Snoop's birthday is today. Who else's birthday is it?
Happy birthday, Big
You
Snoop
know what I'm
Dogg.
saying?
Snoop, what's happening?
Yabba dabba do, baby.
Exactly, man. All the Libras, man. Shout out to all the Libras, man.
All right, we out after the show then for Too Sick
Oh,
birthday.
absolutely.
There it is.
Some
There it
of
is.
us won't cry.
Easy money.
And also
Right,
Wes, brother, can you tell them where they can find us, where they can listen to us?
At We Not For Sale, that's at WEKNOTFORCELL on all platforms.
All
I mean, you
platforms.
can email us there. I mean, you can yabba dabba do to Twitter, and then you can yabba dabba do back to Instagram, whichever way you want to float the boat.
DM.
Then you
baby.
can log on to your local iTunes or Spotify, and you can download the podcast and
Check
listen
us
to
out.
us on a weekly basis.
Every Tuesday we featured, man.
Feel it.
iHeartRadio, we featured every Tuesday. Check us out on iHeart.com. We on there as well.
Fellas, we got a big week coming up, man. I don't know, is everybody excited for our brother?
Hampton Homecoming.
Our brother R.J. Lewis over here that's being indoctored into what?
Man, the 40 under 40.
Man, shout out to our brother Ray Lewis,
Oh,
man.
man.
Shout
It's,
out.
you know,
Hey,
it's
give him a rundown, Ray, what the 40,
You know
40
what,
is.
man?
All right,
40,
Jai,
40,
one of y'all.
40 under 40 is a society that was created by Hampton University, to kind of highlight individuals under 40 years old who have impacted society outside of school. And my own brother, Jai Person Lynn, was inducted before me, and he kind of set the precedence for what it took to kind of really get to that point, man, where you can make an impact enough to come back and and really enlighten the younger people and also raise money for the university. So now it's my turn, man, and I was inducted, and I'm following my brothers. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Proud of you, Raymond.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you, my brother.
So like the rest of us, we ain't really doing shit because we ain't got inducted.
Hey, man, hold on. Let me speak on that real quick.
Hey, by the way, it's a lot of Hamptonian pride in the building.
Yeah.
I think next year I might be on the list.
You might, but let's
I
be
think
clear
I might as well get on there too.
For
next
under
year,
40 years, it's a representation of young alumni, being that people graduate at about 21, 22 years old. We're graduating anywhere from 700 to 1,000 students a year. So there might be about 15,000 people who are eligible, who are Hampton alumni who are under 40.
Got it.
You can't get everybody. So it's about, just letting people know that young alumni are out there doing it. And there's some dynamic people. It's a brother that's a NBA executive vice president that hasn't even been honored yet. It's
Hey, you guys are all great in my eyes. I look up to all of you guys, all four of you Hamptonians here. You guys are definitely some people who I look up to, and I'm inspired by you. So if they don't give you an award, I'm giving you one today. Congratulations, brother.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
And do you have to pay your Hampton dues?
you got to pay.
You can't go to school.
You won't be on the list.
You won't be on the list.
Great.
So be clear. You have to pay the alumni dues, right?
You don't.
Yeah, because you can't have any parking tickets or anything like that. Because
you do have to contribute to the school and more than just on Instagram saying, "Hey, I went to Hampton, show love." Like this is also a avenue to get young alumni to contribute. Exactly. A lot of young alumni don't see the value in it, but when people contribute to their school, that's how especially big corporate donors look and say, hey, you guys only have 10% of alumni contributed last year. What's up with that? Yeah, y'all don't believe in yourselves. Why should I believe in you? So this is also for that, just to get more young alumni. And anybody that goes to HB that is an alumnus of an HBCU, it only takes $10 a year to get on the list. So you can't say you can't afford it. Yeah. It's just a lot of us don't see the value in it, but there's definitely value in supporting our institutions.
I appreciate you for breaking that down, Jai. That's a beautiful thing. And so today's topics, we definitely gonna get into relationships. We also gonna get into colorism. But I cannot ignore this. Unfortunately, we had an unfortunate, tragic moment that happened within our culture, within our community, of Tatiana Jefferson. She was
rest in peace.
She was gunned down, and in her home, 28-year-old black woman. She was gunned down, and they always have to highlight this. She was gunned down by a white police officer in Fort Worth, Texas, and a neighbor actually had called the police on her. When the police got there, they saw her through the window, and they proceeded to shoot through the window.
Called a non-emergency line. Let's be clear. They called a non-emergency line just to send somebody to check. They did not report any emergency going on.
And I say that to one pay. I mean, we definitely have to pay our respects to her and prayers and love and support to her family and friends, but it kind of strikes me in a very, very sharp way. When I heard the news, I thought about, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago how I don't call the police, and I was hoping that something like this didn't happen. But I want to get you guys' opinion on this, man. How does this make you feel? I'm gonna start with you, Chris.
I mean, first off, hearing this story is just like, how many stories do we really have to hear that went down like this? You know what I'm saying? To the point to where we're practically numb now. It's no longer surprising. And I think that's like the troubling part, when you hear about black men and now women, getting gunned down in their own homes. It's sickening, it's disturbing. And, the funny thing is, sometimes I go to work. I work with a predominantly white office. And I feel like if a tragedy like this happened in the white community, they'll be talking about it at work. You know, you see endless stories and things like that. But the fact that none of my coworkers even brought it up just lets me know, like, even that it's a woman, you know, woman of color, it's just like, it's still, it still doesn't get the attention it really deserves, and that's concerning in itself. But with your question of calling the police, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I'm not quick to call the police, you know what I'm saying, like, there's been situations like, you know, if there's been like, you know, my car got broken into and I have to, you know, fill out an incident report or something like that, or accident, right. You know, that's probably when I would call the police. But nah, if anything, you know, I kind of try to avoid calling the police by all costs, because I mean, frankly, they just haven't proven that I could trust them totally.
Right. Now, does that change for you, Too Sick, as well? Are you no longer, after seeing something like this? I mean, they said it was a handgun pointing towards found near her body or something like that, and that came out not to be true. But Too Sick, are you now saying, okay, it's up to us to kind of handle our own situations and not call the police? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, some days I sit up and I struggle, like, trying to figure out where did everything go wrong? You know, where did this barrier between our communities and the police just, I mean, because I remember even being younger, it just wasn't this bad. You know, it's always been bad. We always had issues with them. No, we've always had issues with them.
Was it not this bad, or did we not have social media to spread the information the same way?
There you have it. Maybe you're right on that aspect. It's the social media is bringing so much awareness to it, you know, and like you're right, we didn't have that platform, so it, you know, things like this has been going on for years, but it's just so much of it, man. I don't even know where to start, man, or how. I mean, what do we do? Because you have other groups that are trying to get policemen to be more involved in the community. But I just think people they kind of like, we're at a point now where we just don't trust them, you know, and we don't, and they're at the point to where they just don't trust us.
So are you saying that this is a racial issue, or is this a character issue? Is this a rules and regulation issue?
We're definitely, you know, we're definitely feared when they come to our communities. If you ever if you ever watch the way, and I know this for sure, like if you watch the way, it's funny because I was driving down the street the other day, a white policeman drove by me, stuck his whole fucking head out the window, right? Then made a U-turn, flashed his whole light on me, and then kept going. And I'm like, wow, what made him do that, right? But if I go to like Beverly Hills or something like that, police, they wave at me, you know what I'm saying? They keep it going. You know, as long as you're not, you know, causing any type of nuisance, you know, they keep it going. But in our communities are policed totally different. Like, it's like the cops, when they drive by, they're like it's like they're on steroids or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't view us like
the
like
way
I
they're
said,
trained.
Exactly. Like I said, in Beverly Hills, they wave. You know what I'm saying? Or honk the horn or whatever.
Come from the military.
Now, you know, obviously we grew up in Compton. I've never lived outside of, you know, within a 5-mile radius from Compton in my entire life.
Second district.
But I would like to know, with you brothers going to Hampton, Wes, was it any different with the police in Hampton, around in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton, Virginia, than it was growing up in Compton, how we grew up?
Yes, it was. You know, in Virginia is, you know, it's racist.
Because I just want to be clear. In Hampton, there are more black police officers, right?
Black chief as well.
I don't know how many. I don't recall seeing a whole lot of black Hampton City police.
I mean, we're talking about on campus
Hampton
police.
has its own police.
University police.
Okay, so in Norfolk,
we were
majority white, or is it black?
So
police
staying
officers?
off campus, I mean, I had several run-ins with authority, law enforcement. I actually had a case, you know, out there where I had to pay a lawyer, a couple stacks just to get out of jail 3 days, and that was just, for some traffic BS. But, it really was, you see the racism on a whole nother level. You be talking Virginia, this is these people still wear white, sheets on their face. And it's just, to me, when I look at this situation, I'm past trying to make excuses for the system or to wrap my head around why it happened. It's a serious issue when it comes to this system that was built not to protect us. I say that all the time. Is you have to be aware of the fact that they don't see us as equals, as a race. No. It's in the Constitution. I mean, I don't think they really value the black race or African or wherever you.
Well, that's the government.
System.
Let's talk about that system. This police system that we have now is a direct derivative from slave patrols. It's like,
right.
There wasn't. I mean, there were cops and sheriffs, but people were more about. Everybody had a gun. Everybody pretty much looked out for each other, and people were just genuinely. Amongst white people, more honest than they are now historically in America. And black people were slaves, so it was easy. Just stay in your fucking place.
Yeah.
It's very difficult it has been very difficult for this government to view black people differently, right? And it is very profitable to have black people in chains. Now, the one thing, to your point about the police, the difference in my experience, police in California are with the extras.
Yes.
They are with the extras.
So
they
true.
pull you over. They want to, for tent, they want to pull you out the car, search the whole car.
Man.
I get pulled over. Man, I got pulled over. I was speeding. I was in 2012. I was just it was a rough year. Had like 4 deaths in like 4 months. And I was in Virginia for a cousin's wedding. Just hung out with some friends and just felt free for the first time that year. I got caught 96 on 64.
55.
Like this is like a big fucking deal in Virginia. Like speeding, you're supposed to get like a day in jail for every mile per hour over 90 miles per hour.
Right.
Cop. I had just sipped some wine. I actually had some in my cup, and I chugged that down through the cup under the seat. And we did the little test. He wasn't with no extras. He didn't even arrest. He could have arrested me flat out, impounded the car. He was with no extras. And I've had that situation at least 3 times in Virginia, whereas here I get pulled over for the smallest thing. I'm out the car. I'm in handcuffs. And so I think it's worse here than Virginia.
So, I mean, just my question to you, brothers, is we all recognize that this is an epidemic going on around the country. We all feel discriminated against. We all feel as though we're at our wits' end. So what are the solutions? I mean, I'm hearing everybody indict the system. We know systematic ways have nothing to do necessarily with individuals. So, are we saying that all law enforcement is subject to systematic ways, or are we saying that, what are the solutions?
Well, I hate to, kind of go the different direction. I would never ask a victim to come up with a solution. Those of us who all been victimized, if I'm correct, we've all have been victimized by the police officers, right?
Yes.
For us to have a solution, I wouldn't necessarily say that falls on our shoulders. It definitely is something that we should have some say so in. But Chris, I want to ask you a question. C-Note, is there a such thing as a good cop?
Well, before I get into that, I just kind of want to shake things up, just to kind of like understand the mentality that the officer is thinking when they pull the trigger or, pull us over or jack us. Let me ask you brothers a question. You walking down the street, you see a white man, Asian man, Latino man, you see a nigga that look just like you. Who are you most intimidated by? Like, like if the chances of something, popping off, do you feel like it'll be like someone that looks just like you or one of those other races?
One of those other races.
Yeah, I'd say one of those other races.
Quick answer.
Quick answer. But definitely depend on how they dress.
Yeah, I would definitely say one of those other races on the basis of us being intelligent enough to know that, we've had that experience.
Okay, all right.
I've never feared any black man outside of the hood. Now, if I see a car pull up and it's a Cutlass and it's some black dudes, I'm gonna be like, all right. But if I'm in Hollywood or something or somewhere else, I think it's those other races.
So, so it depends on like the location, I guess. West, and then once you answer.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. It depends on where I'm at and the location as well, because it's and sometimes it may be on how that person's dressed. These different races, because I kind of measure a person whole kind of like aura.
Okay, and I like that y'all said that, like how someone's dressed. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's how they profile us. Like dressed like a gang member, a rapper, or whatever. Yeah. And the fact is, if I'm walking down the street, I'm just gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I might look at the nigga that look just like me. And I say that because I've been jacked by a nigga that looks just like me. When he went coming up and listen to rap music, they ain't talking about killing like Peckerwoods or anything. They talking about killing other niggas, busting back.
Was this in your neighborhood?
Yeah, it was in my neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's understandable because it was in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Where I grew up, off the bus from where I went to high school. You know what I'm saying? So when I think of the chunkinums I've been into or the situations I got into, 9 times out of 10, it was a nigga that looked just like me. You feel me? And so that's why I'm trying to understand the mentality. Is it because we don't, have value for our life because we're out here killing each other in the street, and that's why they're scared of us, and that's why they feel like they need to police us? As much as I love our race and everything like that, like, I also feel like we don't value black life. So that's why they don't value black life.
Well, I agree to that to a certain extent. But we do have to remember most Latino victims of crimes are victimized by Latinos, whites on whites, Asians on so forth. But no black life is not valued in this nation outside of the commodity of that life. And that is, of course, we've taken on that. That's been built in our minds. It's been told we are only of the value that we can make the master money. So to your point, Jason, systematically, it's not up to us to fix that system because we don't have the power to fix that system.
Right.
But to fix our response to that system, I think, is more so what you
and
were,
that's why I want to ask Ray. I'm gonna circle right back to the question. And Chris, I do feel your passion, and I could definitely relate. But Ray, I feel like that the police here, especially in Los Angeles, are here to protect and serve. But when it comes to them, it seems like they have this code of secrecy, or they don't want to tell. They have a no snitching policy amongst themselves that exists. Yeah. To where if something goes down within that's unethical within their own law enforcement, it's typically people turn their head.
Yeah,
is there a such thing as a good cop?
I believe that there is a such thing as a good man or a good woman. And regardless of the uniform that they put on, there are men of character and women of character, men of God, women of God that serve in different capacities in their daily lives. I also believe that, when you step into a police force anywhere, you're a part of a fraternity. You're a part of a brotherhood and sisterhood, and you're going to uphold to the best of your ability the fraternity rules, which can challenge your morality, which can challenge your faith. However, in talking about the idea of having a response to this systematic injustice, we in this group have kids, and we have to train our kids up to have a response to this systematic injustice because they're dealing with it right now.
Yep.
We're dealing with it right now, and Jamers talks about it a lot in terms of the things that's going on in his household, and there is so much to teach a young man or a young lady on how to present themselves in the environments that they're in terms of not being jammed up or not being profiled, that is ridiculous.
Okay. So there are men of good character and so on and so forth. And obviously I personally feel like until the police who work on the police force decide to really start policing themselves a little bit harder, then we're always going to continue to have this issue, because there's someone has to have integrity on the police force. But I want to ask James a question. Raising a kid in today's world, and you could speak to this because you have a son, I have a son, and so does Ray. Your son wants to be a police officer. He says, "Dad, I want to be a police officer when I grow up." What do you tell him?
But I would be okay with it, man, because at the end of the day, you know, we need a few good cops in our family, and you know, just like we need a few good lawyers in our family. You know, I'm not gonna run them away for it just because how I feel about the police. You know, if that's what he chooses to do, I'm gonna support him.
And how do you feel about the police, James?
I feel like the police is the police, and I am who I am. I don't agree on like when he mentioned, is there a good cop? It's like, I wonder, like, would you ever ask, is there a good gang member? Did the society ever see a good gang member, or do they just see a bunch of niggas over there gang banging?
Yeah.
Did society ever go out and say, which one of you guys are good? Because a few of them are my friends, you know, and some of them are good. They just may have made a couple of fucked up choices, but it doesn't change who they are as individuals.
Yeah.
And, you know, and with police, they see it the same way. Yeah, this guy over here is good, but this guy's a scumbag too. But at the end of the day, he's our brother. You know, and if you tell one of them that that's their brother, believe me, you're gonna either get fired or you're gonna either get transferred, you know, or it's gonna be hell with you working in that precinct.
So for the record, the police is also, the police department is also a gang. And that's how I've always seen it
in our community.
And lastly, on this topic, before we go to colorism, Jai, you spoke on something that was important, and I want to hear a little bit more about how blacks are treated when they go to court. You know, and you know, this is obviously segueing from this topic, but this still has a lot to do with the police department, the judicial system, and shed some light on that, and then we can kind of go into the colorism, because I want to know if someone is light skinned or if someone's dark skinned, and how does that change the way they're treated by the judge?
Yeah. And see, it's the entire system, right? Cop driving down the street, you and Josh walking down the street, they only see you out your peripherals. You could be Asian, you could be white, you know, whatever, right? Jamers walking down the street is one thing. That's what gets the head turn. That's what gets the U-turn. That's what gets the lights on, just the color of the skin. And because most of these judges, like, they don't know black people outside of work. They haven't ever. They could be 55-year-old judges have never spent the night at a black person's home, never had a black roommate, you know, weren't in a black fraternity, weren't in the black clubs in school. They don't know black people, but they watch the news.
Right.
They listen to the media. And the news and the media, any of us, that's our only perspective on black people, is going to think negatively about black people who are not entertainers.
And the music and
point
the
blank, period. And that is where the problem comes in. And the darker your skin, I mean, think about the terms like we have, black male. You know, I was just at the Queen Mary, Dark Harbor. You know, those terms just in our psyche as Americans, with this language, means evil. Right. And so in court, you seeing this dark-skinned man or dark-skinned woman, you seeing evil in your subconscious at the minimum. And the way that manifests itself is, this person gets a higher sentence because they're evil. they need to be punished. And it makes it more difficult for me to negotiate a plea bargain, to get a judge to dismiss a case that they should dismiss every stage of the way. The darker your skin in the criminal justice system, the more difficult it is for you. And what's messed up is that if I don't use my light-skinned clients' privilege to their advantage, I ain't doing my job the right way for that light-skinned client, right? So I'm participating in it too.
Hey, so that's messed up. So you telling me if I go into the court and I have braids in my hair, or if I'm darker skinned, I'm gonna be treated differently for sure.
Yes, they're gonna try. And remember, these are lawyers. These are people who their whole careers have taken things and made it into what they wanted you to see. So it's much more covert than any other aspect, because no other profession is trained in the ways of covering things up and, misdirecting information the way that attorneys are.
Would you say that's kind of like hit or miss though? Because I remember having a discussion with a young man.
And this is general.
Yeah, but I remember having a discussion with a young man, and it kind of cracked me up. And he was saying that, like, you know how we can look at a nigga and be like, man, that nigga's a square.
Yeah.
Or we can look at him and be like, oh, that nigga's a skateboarder, or, that nigga's this way. We can see, or that nigga's banging. You know what I'm saying? We can see that, right?
Yeah.
But white people see it as all just one thing.
One thing.
They don't see like that guy is a good kid. You know what I'm saying? They see him the same way.
They can't tell if Duran plays video games or if he's gang banging.
Well, the first image they have of you is the charges.
Right.
Period.
The first images they have of you are on paper. It has your description as a black male, and then it has your charges.
No, but I'm talking about as a regular citizen. Like just walking down the street. Like, they can look at Ray. They would look at Ray. Like, and we should one day do this. Like, look at Ray, look at Jason, look at Jai, and look at Chris and say, pick out the troublemaker out of all of those.
Yeah, Jai actually did it. We had a speaking engagement.
Definitely
they'll
did.
pick you and Jason out.
We had a speaking engagement.
When we took Ray's face off his body, the kids was like, that nigga's a thug.
Yeah, it was enlightening for me, man. I didn't think that a group of kids, would look at a picture and make a determination of my character based upon at the speaking engagement I had on a suit, and they had a very hard time believing that the picture was me, up until Jai took the body and placed it back onto my face in the next slide, and they were blown away that this individual was sitting before them, educated, and was enlightening them at the time about George Zimmerman and the psychology behind the situation with Trayvon Martin. They couldn't believe that I was the same individual from that picture.
So we definitely have discrimination going on out there amongst other races towards us. But Ray, I want you to shed light on colorism and what that means. And I actually didn't know that it was an actual issue as much as it is.
Of course you did.
I was thinking that too.
me being a recipient of the light skin privilege until I turn into Wesley Snipes, J. Wesley Snipes. But go ahead and shed some light on that, Jeff.
Colorism is basically discrimination based on your skin color, particularly dark-skinned individuals. It's also known as shadeism, and it's a form of prejudice or discrimination, usually from members of the same race, in which people are treated differently based upon the social implications from cultural meanings attached to skin color. And its origin starts in the apartheid and basically Africa is where it all starts in terms of the separation or the genocide of individuals based upon their skin color or features.
I'm glad you actually said that. I had the opportunity to go to South Africa, and they talked about the history there and how they separated the colors from the blacks from one another, and that actually drove more competition within those two classes themselves. But Chris, being in entertainment, C-Note, My bad, I called you Chris, but you know he goes by the name of C-No Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about how that exists in terms of casting roles, because this is something that you're pretty much deciding what the lawyers and the judges and the kids at home are going to see and how they're going to view people.
Well, I'm not deciding that.
But your industry.
Put that shit on me.
It's your fucking fault.
It's your fault, Chris.
Yeah. But now I see where you're going with this.
That goes through casting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have these statistics and data that shows like who tests high. And I mean, not just even in my industry. You even just look at it. Let's even use Disney for example. You have the white princesses and Prince Charming with this fucking sizzle chin and sparkle smile and perfect hair. But when it came to us, black giving us black, reflecting on the black culture, they made us animals, Lion King and lions and animals and shit like that. Or even I was even looking at Princess of the Frog, which is it's a black princess in that, but they spent half the damn movie with the characters being the frog. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was just no, we just couldn't be a black princess or a black Prince Charming throughout the whole fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like, we had to take on some animal form to kind of pay the
Godzilla
homage to our culture. So I think
shout out to Black Panther though.
And shout out to Black Panther because that was a breakthrough for a black superhero. But but we just got that in 2018, 17, what you know what I'm saying? So I say that to say I feel like they're catering to their audience almost. You know what I'm saying? And their audience isn't choosing a black ass nigga or a dark skinned woman. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And they had that little study that said black women were the least attractive women on earth.
Dark skinned women.
Yeah. I guess it's been that long since Coming to America came out, huh?
Yeah.
There was some fine women in Coming to America.
You gotta also,
but even she was light skinned though. That ended up marrying Princess Zamunda. So what chocolate sister you talking about?
The chocolate sister was the first one.
Her sister got played.
But the first one who they actually chose, whose mom and dad chose for him, she was light skinned. She was nice.
She was the one that was
Oh yeah.
Buckle like a dog.
He didn't choose her. And he had to go with light bright.
But he
Talk about it. Lisa was bad.
Talk about it.
Lisa McDowell was bad.
She was bad. Don't make no mistake about it.
Okay, but what was wrong with her sister? Her dark skinned sister.
She was a little thirsty. She was a thought.
Why? Because she was dark skinned?
Nah, that's not why. Because how she was acting.
She wasn't no intellectual.
Because how she was acting.
But keep in perspective, y'all. This is a movie. She had to play that role.
Nah, she didn't have to play that role.
No, listen.
I understand what
she
you're saying.
didn't have to play that role.
No,
I'm just
right.
saying though, they casted a light skinned, long haired sister to be the princess and the dark skinned sister.
If you're listening right now,
but Eddie Murphy was in charge.
Let me be very clear about this. Boomerang set the stage when Robin Givens came in as a VP of marketing at Lady Eloise and had Marcus Graham upside down. It really set the stage to let everybody know there's some brown-skinned young ladies.
I mean, when they got rid of Auntie Vivian off the Fresh Prince show and put the light-skinned Auntie Vivian.
I'm talking about dark skin.
They got rid of her right away. I mean, I like the dark skin.
What was the point of them getting rid of her and then replacing her with a light-skinned woman?
Yeah, so that was
I couldn't understand that.
Now that was really blunt right there.
Yeah, but I think she was, speaking up on issues, which is still problematic for me, right? It was similar to a Jamel Hill situation. Mm-hmm. You speak up, nigga, okay, do that. This America, you got rights, but there's consequences to every right.
Listen, here we are at this table, okay, 6 brothers in here. We're not for sale. Are we attracted to dark-skinned women?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Hold on, right quick. Hold on.
Are you married to dark-skinned women?
You're married.
Huh?
to a young lady who's not dark skinned.
No, she's not. But that's nothing. That doesn't like mean I'm not attracted to dark skinned
So
women.
you've had previous relationships with dark skinned women.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Have you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wes?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I have.
absolutely. I have.
Relationships.
Not relationships though.
Okay.
You know,
I've had a
Let's say date. Okay, I've
had
dated.
sexual
Yeah.
encounters
Oh,
with dark skinned
dating.
women.
I knew it was going to go here.
No, don't go there.
Let's talk.
Don't go where?
Don't go there.
I mean, it is what it is.
go
That's
there.
what it is.
And it ain't what it ain't.
So, Wes,
Wes.
so you would smash brown skinned woman, but not actually.
No, I don't smash
be in a
nothing but
relationship.
potatoes.
You would have.
I said I had a
You would have
Speak
a
on it.
sexual
Every
relationship.
with
heard
a
him.
dark
Give me that
skinned
You will
whistle,
have
Ray.
sexual relationships with dark skinned women,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you won't bring them
Don't
home
use
to
the
your
term.
mama.
That's a derogatory. Don't use smash. I only smash potatoes.
Say it again, Wes.
But I only smash potatoes.
Hey.
But I had a sexual encounter with several dark-skinned women.
I've had a
Absolutely.
relationship
Beautiful
with a
women.
dark skinned
Bring
woman.
one home to mama.
Well,
Wes.
okay, wait. So hold on. Are we saying like you get more kudos because you know
Love is not a negotiation.
Hold
It's a
on,
magical connection. So
Hold on.
That was out of my control.
Let Chris. Hey, Hollywood's trying to talk. Let him talk.
So do you? I mean, I just want to see like, do you get more kudos for having a relationship with a dark skinned woman?
Absolutely. Because that would show that
Don't
you
answer that, Ray.
actually value more than just sleeping with a young lady.
But wait a minute. Kudos from who?
Well, when he says kudos, I assume he's talking about value the fact that a relationship can blossom from someone being dark skinned.
But who's handling the kudos?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
handling
like
the
who,
motherfuckers?
like.
in this exactly in this
Oh, okay.
subject,
From the black
So,
we're
so,
talking about the
so,
black
so you
community.
get more kudos from the black community because you were in a relationship with a dark skinned woman.
Well, I think
let me
it shows
quickly
evidence.
interject.
married to a
Validation
black-
is
yeah.
for parking, and we not for sale. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you said that, brother. But what I'm saying is that the black community as a whole, all right, I believe that there is an assumption that there is more value in a person that chooses to be with someone who is dark skinned, or even in this scenario with us brothers in this room, someone who decides to be with someone who is black. I happen to know all of your guys' wives. I happen to love all of your guys' wives, and I was around when you guys were dating your wives, and being in the black community myself, I looked at them as individuals who had to have the credibility to sustain you guys individually. It wasn't about how they looked. Who you guys
Absolutely.
chose, I was scrutinized based upon the character of how I know you guys. And
Absolutely.
I looked at them individually and said, does this young lady have what it takes to sustain or to be equally yoked to my perspective with my brothers? In your guys' cases, I believe all of your wives had that credibility, had that capability, and listening to you guys, you know, it had the attraction that you wanted, and you guys have been married and been very successful to this point. You know, however, the black community may not see it as that way.
Or it depend on what type of grandparents you have, because I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. My grandma told me, don't ever bring no white woman home. And she meant it, and I ain't never did it, and I ain't never looked at one and thought about doing it, and that's just how she felt, and I would never want to hurt her. It doesn't mean that makes you a racist or anything like that. It's just shit. Your grandma, she went through some shit. She went through some shit that I can't just explain exactly why she feels that way.
Now, real quick, I want you to clarify this. Does that mean don't bring no white women home, or does it mean
said
don't
white
bring
woman.
home anyone other than black
No,
home?
she said white woman.
Or other than dark skin.
She said, yeah. Well, she said, grandma, you know, she would prefer for me to be with a black woman.
Dark skin?
No, a black woman.
Oh, okay.
A black
So she can be a light skinned black woman.
A black woman. A black woman's a black woman.
Okay.
Well, how about this though? Because
Jai,
in America, you know, before the Nation of Islam, light-skinned black people were called colored in America,
Right.
similar to South Africa. Then the nation came and said, we all black, which is really a holdover from slavery because I believe their position was more so if you could be a slave, you black, so we all black. But it's the one drop rule, which is a slave rule, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I look at myself, and I've pretty much not exclusively dated brown-skinned women, but the majority of the women that I've had a legitimate relationship with are brown-skinned. But then I look at my grandmama, light, both of them. My mama light-skinned. And for me, it was like I grew up with that African mindset that, you know, the browner was better to a certain degree. And I didn't even look at myself as light-skinned. And I still view myself as California brown. But when I got to Hampton and we get to the South and the majority of the black people are brown-skinned black people, they was like, oh, the little red nigga from Cali. And nah, bro, I'm brown. But in my mind, you know, that's what it was like. And I'm like, damn, am I just trying to be with a brown-skinned woman so I could be more black? Like, I love my mama. I love my grandmama. Like, were they not worthy? And so it's real fucking confusing.
It is. You know, you
figure this whole thing out.
You bring up a good point because, fellas, we've been to a few different countries, all of us. We've been together. And I tell you what, you know, the young ladies that we've seen that have blown our mind, you know, we've come up with a term. I think Hollywood started the term that we just start using in the idea of exotic in Amazon.
Amazonian.
And those young ladies pretty much are a mixture of different races. And I believe that hey, you keep your fucking mouth shut if you know it's good for you, Jai. But at the end of the day, the way we looked at those young ladies compared to your average black woman, we valued them a little bit more. I seen a look in your fellas' eyes.
Okay. So I know how to solve this. We're gonna go around the table. Ray, tell me your ideal woman.
Yeah. Is she dark skinned?
Let him talk.
You know what? You know what? You're a piece of shit, Hollywood. You know, but my ideal woman, we talking about her physical characteristics.
Just describe her, nigga.
This is a simple question. Create your ideal woman.
Your weak for her.
That's tough.
Start stuttering her, right?
You know, well, you know, I wish you guys would shut the fuck up.
Hey, you a man that know what she wants.
Let him talk. Let him finish. Let him
you
talk.
know, I have not really narrowed down the physical description.
Right, I've never known you not to have the answer.
Does she have skin of bronze and hair of wool?
Absolutely, she does. Absolutely, she does. It could be. It's a weave. A weave is possible. And young ladies, if you hear me out there and you got a weave, please DM. We not for sale. It's possible.
Jai, your ideal woman.
Yeah.
Ideal woman. Shout out to a young lady I follow on Instagram, Tannerell.
Oh man.
I think if I had to like do a creative player, it might come out as her.
Okay.
But it would be.
Is that her right there?
Yeah, that's her.
Let me see that.
Sino Collins is holding up the picture.
Pictures come.
Brown skin.
Tannerell.
Okay.
Voluptuous. The kind of skin that when that cocoa butter and that sun hit it, it's just shining and glistening, and natural hair.
Okay.
That's and we're just physical features because I am a sapiosexual. I need the mind to be there.
Yeah.
But physical features, that's it. Lips, nose,
and she does have a very very nice body.
Very nice. What's the name on the young lady again?
Tannerell.
Hey, look, we're going to put you on our We Not For Sale page. If you follow this young lady, please follow us because we're following her.
Yeah, but that's if I create a player.
Hollywood. What we got?
Let's see.
Your creative woman.
Just beautiful woman. Naturally beautiful. Doesn't need too much alteration, makeup or anything. Just freshly, just smooth, beautiful skin, beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, teeth, smile.
Okay, is she light skin, dark skin, medium skin?
She could be whatever skin.
Hey,
okay.
As long as she's just beautiful inside and out.
That's right.
She, whatever.
the first thing pop in your head, that image, describe
What
that
is
image.
what does she look like? Be a little bit more descriptive so that the viewers will know.
Is the ass fat or
What
not?
does she look like?
Fat ass, hips, nah. But really, nah. I mean, just really, like I said, beautiful, naturally beautiful. And then that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All
See,
right,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I feel like my brothers, they judging me off of, since they've known me in my,
Nobody's
companions,
judging you. Nobody's judging you.
I'm
but
judging the fuck out of
I've had a lot of brown skin, dark skinned girlfriends before these brothers knew me. But if you're judging me in my later years, I've gone with more so of a mixed breed or light skin, long hair, girl who, if you judging who I've been in a relationship with. But don't get it twisted. Dark skinned sisters, brown skinned sisters. Actually, I prefer brown skinned sisters.
Does her hair grow in an afro or does it lay down and curl up?
It curls up. It curls up. 9 times out of 10,
All right,
it curls up.
Jay, what is it?
West.
West Strata.
Man, I'm also a fan of the natural look. I'm always been attracted to the beautiful smell. And 36, 24, 36, you know what I mean? I mean, it's that. And
That's
all
thicker
my
than snot on a
women,
baby in the winter months.
You already know. So, most of my women who I've been attracted to have had a nice body,
Complexion.
And I have to be intellectually fucked though, because one word come out that mouth that go wrong way, so it's really no complexions. It's really just, are you beautiful to me or not? I like them all.
But based on your past couple of girlfriends, were they light skinned or no?
I'm sorry, but Chris, I haven't had girlfriends. It's been, sexual encounters.
Hey.
But, I've been blessed to marry a beautiful woman by the name of Reese Estrada. And
Shout out to the sis.
Because it's either
Reese.
official or it's not official. We don't do that.
Shout out to my beautiful
stuff.
sis,
You
Reese.
either married or you're not married. Because when I'm not married, I was single. You did.
Here we go. Okay.
Spoken from
Two sick
true
jammers.
Aries.
I'm just gonna keep it all the way a
business.
buck. I like them all spectrums.
Shout out to
Whatever
Chris.
shade you can get a black woman in, I don't give a fuck about no makeup. I take that too because you guys got to stop with that. I don't like them with makeup and shit like that because that's a way for a woman to express her look and enhance her look.
That's
and
what
make,
we like, though.
No, but what are you talking about? You like
can't
shit on
say
TV.
what we don't. We
the,
can't
the
like.
women you watch on TV, all those hoes are wearing makeup. Sorry.
Okay.
say
The
all
young
about
ladies,
makeup.
not hoes.
But I mean, that's just me. That's me being me.
I don't watch
They
TV.
all are wearing makeup. Any woman that you see, they have on makeup. It's
Yeah,
I think
you giving us all spectrums, but we
90%
want to
of
know.
Hollywood,
we wanna know
when
what
you
you
go-
We
like.
want to know what
Hold
you
on,
like.
hold
What's
on.
your
Not what we
ideal?
like.
Let me land.
Break it down.
Let
Not
me
what we
land.
should like.
Let me land. When you go to Hollywood, 90% of those women in the club, they have on makeup. 90%.
Or enhancements.
Exactly. So
agree.
when a woman wears makeup,
And we do not like
as
that.
men, we got to stop saying that. Oh, I don't like women with makeup because that's a
Okay.
way.
Whoa. No,
on.
nobody said we didn't like no women with no
Hold on,
makeup though.
I'm landing. You can get your point later on.
All right.
When you guys,
don't
you guys
twist my
all said
words.
that you didn't like women with makeup.
No,
Who
we
said
did not
that?
say that,
Said, I
dog.
like them with Hollywood said I like them with smooth skin. Natural. Okay, natural. That's not with makeup.
So
That's not
just to
to
get
say
it
that
clear,
he does not.
Just a little foundation.
you
on
like
that
women
shit.
with
That's
makeup.
makeup. I don't have a problem with it, man. I'm just telling you guys, y'all got to be clear, and we got to stop.
What do
saying
you
that.
Let me clarify what I meant by that.
I'm
What-
getting.
let
No,
me-
you'll get your shot. I'm getting to the point. Let me land.
Come on.
So makeup,
birthday tomorrow, man. Let him
makeup
speak.
is fine with me. I don't mind a woman with a weave, okay, and any spectrum of black, from light all the way to this black microphone. I'm all for it. What's your favorite? All of them.
Love it. I respect. Love it.
If you're going to get a weave, go ahead and go down to Johanna.
Exactly.
And get
Which
that
I already
weave
set
done.
an appointment with her for my woman to go
You
down
got a
there.
beautiful heart. I'm attracted
Everything.
to you, young
Absolutely.
lady.
Well, let me clarify what I meant. Ladies, don't get it twisted. I love you and your makeup. I love you and your
You
weaves.
ain't
Hey.
got the fan. You married.
You know what I'm
brother.
saying? So
But your ideal,
let me.
your
Can I
ideal.
speak? Can I land? Let me land.
But your
See,
ideal.
no Collins Hollywood. It's okay with your makeup, and I'm okay with your weave.
Hey.
But does your ideal
right.
woman have makeup?
She doesn't wear a lot of makeup, but I do appreciate when she does wear makeup. But you know what? The makeup thing goes back to when I was dating back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I woke up. I don't like a lot of that makeup shit because it destroys the pillows at the house, especially if you got white pillows. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not more so like, you know, you don't look beautiful. That shit is just messy. That shit messes up the jacket. Okay. Even in this jacket that I'm wearing right now, like you know what I'm saying? Like the foundation, like that shit gets on suede on white tees. I'm furious. I'm hot at you, baby. Leave that shit at home.
Makeup has advanced.
Put that stuff on their legs, on their waist, on their shoulders.
Well, to be honest, Jai, the first thing I thought of when I looked at the picture of the young lady is probably a beautiful, photoshopped, perfect picture. You know, I've yet to get a woman naked and not see one ripple or something on the ass cheeks or hips or something.
I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop.
Hey,
so I will say this.
Shout out to
for me personally, I've always been attracted to women that are as natural as my mom. You know, growing up, I remember my mom didn't wear a lot of makeup personally. She was very beautiful inside and out. And I just liked the way that my mom's energy was and all of that. So that's for me what attracts me first. But my ideal woman is my wife. Shout out to my wife, Stephanie Estrada.
Shout out, Stephanie.
Okay, so dark skin, brown skin,
so get back to the fucking truth, you hypocrite. What is it?
So you trying to say everybody should have said their wife, or what was that? What was that?
Yeah.
For me,
for you,
you have to have brown tanning abilities, and you have to look like you just woke up off of an island. I like a tropical mix.
What the fuck?
This is me.
Truth, good brother.
Yeah. I like a tropical mix, and that's what I like.
Like the Philippines.
And you have to look good naked.
Hey,
if you can have all the body in the world, whatever.
I'm sorry,
but if
I
you don't look good
that.
naked,
That is very
for
important.
what I do, I'm into fitness. I'm into taking care of the body. You have to look good naked.
Take it all off.
That is important.
We can pretty much do our Tarzan and Jane thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about stretch marks next week.
That's right. I'm loving it.
Yes,
so
sir.
fellas,
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm listening to this conversation, and it's like it takes me back to when we were in college, when generally, you know, I mean, I know Jason, you know, having gone to predominantly white college, and Jamers being, you know, an online graduate, you know, but us fellas, we got a chance to see, you know, 90% of nothing but black women. So did it taint your idea? Because I know for me, going to Hampton kind of fucked up my whole idea of women once I graduated. It was like I was used to nothing but the Hampton world, you know, whereas I'm going to school and it's 90% black women, it's 13-1. You know, it was a whole different world. Then you get into the real world, and it was completely opposite. You know, my standards for women had skyrocketed, especially black women, you know, and I couldn't accept anything less than the expertise, man, of the best of the best. So you guys think going to Hampton, did it taint us? Did it kind of ruin our ability to look at black women in society the same?
Well, no, because we're also from here, who has some of the most beautiful women on earth. But what it did, I think, was spoil me and not make me realize that concentration wasn't going to be forever.
Right.
Because I came at my first time home from Hampton was the first time I realized how black LA was not.
Right.
And had I known the future, I probably would have left Hampton with a wife or two.
Let me ask you something, Jay.
Yeah.
Do you personally, because I know you're real big on the cause as far as supporting a lot of black restaurants, and you're real heavy on that. Do you feel that if a man doesn't have a black woman, that he can't be for the cause?
No, I don't feel like that. I did at one point, but then I met the Westradas, and I don't feel like that anymore. And it's based on experience, but it's also
Westradas date women of color. By the way.
I know, but we said married, so I thought it was. But at the end of the day, what I
women of color,
realized is that this colorism is deeper than we really give it color for. Going back in slave times, after the slave trade ended, the only way someone could become a slave was to be birthed through the womb of a slave woman.
Right.
And so for the man that got free and wanted his children to be free, if he had children with a slave woman, his children could still be slaves. So it goes deeper than that, but ultimately at the end of the day, the matters of the heart, are what they are, and I do not think that prevents you from being down for the cause.
So if Farrakhan had a white woman, how would you feel about that? Do you feel like he could?
Isn't he half white?
Yeah, somebody white helped create Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Because but that's the thing when we talk about loving ourselves, and I do my history, the history that I can trace back to Virginia and Sherman Weaver, my great-great-grandfather, and the pictures I see of him. This is a white man, a clearly white man. So if I hate white people, then I am in turn hating some of myself.
Not necessarily.
And you have to. This is part of who we are, Jamie.
No, that's not necessarily, because you can be half black and half white and still hate black people.
You can, but you still hate yourself.
Not necessarily.
If you hate black,
it's whoever.
It's how you identify yourself.
How you identify yourself.
I get that.
You have people that are half black.
But if you
and half
hate the
white,
roots, you hate the rest of the tree.
A black. Most of them, they generally they have it rough, but majority of the time they see themselves. Seriously, being mixed, they have it rough.
It's
because
tough. It's tough.
It's very tough for them, because you could tell your kids like, oh, don't worry about color, just worry about people. Until a little boy go to school and call him a nigga, and now he like, hey, well, what does that mean? Or why did he call me that? Or what am I supposed to say? And I don't know who those people are. Now this nigga growing up looking at you like a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying?
Our doesn't even have to go that far. My son, we lived in a predominantly white neighborhood when he was first born, and then now we live in a more diverse neighborhood where it's mainly black and brown kids. And he does know the difference. When he goes to a park that's in a community where it's mostly white kids, he'll look around and say, it's no one here. I'm like, what are you talking about? There are kids here. He's like, there's no black kids.
He's letting you know that he identifies with himself as a black.
I already know.
Kid.
At school, his first day of school, he went up to it's only about 5 black kids in his school in his class, and he went up to one of the black kids and said, "You're going to be my best friend."
Right. So he's letting you know right now that he identifies himself as a black person.
Right.
Yeah.
But bottom line, it's no sugarcoating it. No. But what if? Now that I'm glad you mentioned that. Now what if one day, like, because you do have mixed kids, so what if he just decided, like, you know what, Dad, I'm not black. I'm whatever I am.
Well, the funny part is, I've never even told him he was black, so I don't even talk
society will.
I don't talk to him like, oh, you're black or you're white or you're this or you're that. I just tell him that he's a human who's filled with a lot of diversity. His grandmother on his mom's side is white. His grandmother on his dad's side is Filipino. Then his grandmother on his mom's side, on his dad's side is black, and his grandfather on his mom's side is dark Filipino.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's so much diversity. I can never just tell him, hey, you go around and talk
have
about.
to, though.
So,
no, I don't.
So check this out.
I don't think you have to.
When he fills out a job application, when that day comes, and he has to check that little box saying like white, black,
he'll be Filipino.
He'll decide at that time what he wants to do. But I'm gonna tell you first and foremost, my son. It's not in my vision for my son to ever fill out a job application, because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner, and I've been one since I was 25 years old.
That was just an example.
That's great, but you still have to allow him to know exactly what he is.
Well, I can tell you right now.
You don't want. No, hold on. Let me just say this real quick.
Well, go ahead and land real quick.
You don't want society to you don't want for you treat him a certain way, and he don't know how society may treat him.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he's a son, and I remember me and Ray both agree on this. our sons can never be bullied. Our sons can never be taken advantage of because he knows who he is. Despite how everything else works in your life, I always teach my kids that life is 90% of how you respond to it. 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it. If we walk around with these labels, and I think that we'll always be confined to the label. So I always say, you know what, we are all, and everybody, you know, shout out to my bro, K-Dot. We are all a diverse complexion, and we're all basically an expression of the Creator. And its diversity in its entirety. We're all a part of this collective.
I don't agree with that because I'm not treated the same way
that's
as
fine.
the rest of the world, and neither are you.
That's fine,
So
but I don't
subscribe to that nation.
Listen, I don't see the black horse or the black stallion saying, "Hey, I was here first." He doesn't look at the white horse or the brown horse saying, "I was here."
The black horse normally wins the races.
So let's just bring things into perspective. It's us as a people deciding to label ourselves as one race or associate ourselves with one race or another.
No.
I think
we are who we are. We're black people. We're black men. If we go outside right now, we stand there long enough, a police is going to pull over and ask us.
So you're talking about how people respond to you. You're describing your race on how people look at you.
I'm telling you what we are. It's no secret. I can't subscribe.
Well, last time I checked, the color of black was the microphone that you're talking on.
I'm black.
What about before the color of your skin is actually brown?
Well, that's not the way. They don't. No one.
He's an African.
There's 3 brown skinned guys standing outside. I'm black.
It's 3 descendants of Africa.
Why are you black though? Why are you black?
I'm black by color because it's the closest thing that to be described. I'm a black man. I'm a black man. I'm not a brown man.
In America, black is more than a color. It's a culture.
You're not a light-skinned man. Nigga, you can say I'm a light-skinned man or you consider yourself a black man.
I don't base my race on how the police
What
treat
do you
me.
call yourself?
I'm a descendant of American slaves.
I just want to know, do you niggas consider yourself black men? I thought I was sitting at the table with black men. And it seems like we got a different perspective. We went to a black college.
I identify myself as being almond. Almond shade.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and answer. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question, James. Do you not consider yourself anything outside of, you know, if I were to call you, no, I'll just do it like this. If I were to call you a fat man, would you consider yourself a fat man?
We're talking about race, not my size. That was the stupidest thing ever. Where did that come from?
Are you an African, James?
Are you an African? Well, I know everybody at the table has.
Can I have it back real quick? My point is that somebody had to call you a black man for you to actually agree with.
My daddy called me a black boy.
Right, but so before that, who called him?
I was a black boy.
And who told him to call you that?
Negro.
What do you mean? Who told me? That's common sense.
Whoever gave society. Thank you. Society. So I don't want to get too far away from what we decided to do.
Because there is no black land.
Because there is no such thing as, we decided to call ourselves this and that's what we were being called. No, other people gave us our titles, and that's the whole systematic racism aspect about it, is that we're going along with what somebody else called us.
Well, Jason,
because they're treating you based on your skin tone, your skin color, not about what you're labeled as.
I definitely agree with you, Jason, when you say that. However, this is why I agree with what you're saying, Jason. This is why I agree with what you're saying, Jamers, is the fact that our sons, at some point, will have to make a declaration for themselves what they identify themselves with.
And who knows what the world would look like when that time comes.
I would tell you right now that my son, I will be very proud when he identifies himself as a black man for a variety of different reasons. But one in particular is the fact that as a black man, you are set apart in terms of this struggle to rise above the basic standard of every other type of man. When you are a black man, you are taking on the charge of previous black men.
Right.
Part of that charge is being discriminated against.
I ain't sat down with a million white people. I ain't never heard a white man say that he's not a white man. You know what I'm saying? It's common sense.
Nobody said they're not a black man.
Well, what are you niggas? Because I ain't never heard you say it yet. You still haven't said it. What the fuck are you?
No, we all are black men at
Let's
this
wrap
table.
it up.
Okay. I don't even know
This
that.
is what I
Black
would like
man
to say.
Hollywood going out.
Just like to say.
We all are black men at
Thank
this
you.
table.
We
Tell
have
your
to-
brother that
we have
because
to-
he
No, he
subscribes
knows
to
that too.
nation. Well,
Behind that, I hear a lot of pride and I hear a lot of ego. And
Exactly.
and Jay West said
That's true.
something last week. He said sometimes you got to drop the E and let it go. And I'm not really concerned with what other people think. Again,
Facts.
I'm not here to be validated because, like I said, validation is for parking, and we're not for sale.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, we have to realize that no matter what the whole crowd is going with, we decided to be called "We Not for Sale" for a reason. So it's not, you don't have to be peer pressured into thinking that you're black or you want to be defined as white or black or this or that. Because I feel like if we can't change ourselves and move forward, then we're gonna be going backwards for a long time. So we got to make sure that we all put our thinking caps on in terms of how we want to be treated, and that all starts with you. With that said, fellas, this is We Not for Sale.
Not for Sale.
Thank y'all for
Not for
listening.
black man.
Say yo.
This is a Black Man West
God
Strata
bless you.
outro.
You niggas don't know if you're black or not? I'm really confused. Oh, man. This nigga.